Hey, Lawrence.
There she is.
Happy Friday.
Frappy High Day.
Yeah, that too.
How are you?
Well, not bad. A little tired. I went to Los Angeles today, and the traffic this week was really, I don't know what was going on, but it was really tough. Really tough. A lot of like hurry up, slow down, stop. you know. So it kind of wore me out. But other than that, I'm good.
More brutal than usual, huh?
Yeah, seems like it. Seems like
Well,
it.
sorry you had to suffer through that. It's no
Oh,
fun.
well, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
Yeah. How about you? How was your day?
Good. I had brunch with a friend of mine. I hadn't seen in a
Good.
while. And over the course of our dining together, he revealed that he'd had a stroke last year, right around Thanksgiving, that I didn't know about. So,
Oh,
and he managed, he woke up out of bed and instantly had the stroke and then fell down, hit his head, and passed out for a while. And then he woke up and he said all he wanted to do was just lie down and go to sleep. But he knew that wasn't right, even though he was really, confused in his thinking. But he couldn't remember, he had his phone, but he couldn't remember how to dial 911.
oh,
And his wife was sleeping in the bedroom next door. And he said she always tells him she's a light sleeper, but he yelled and screamed and she never woke up, never came over.
oh.
So finally, he kind of butt dialed a friend of his in, I think, New Mexico, he said. And they were able to call 911 on his behalf. And the ambulance showed up. So, yeah.
How
So,
is he? How is he now?
well, he's lost some peripheral vision in one eye. And, he definitely had some brain damage, unfortunately. But went through some therapy and he got some other treatment and he actually looks really good. He's lost some weight, and if he hadn't told me what was going on cognitively, I wouldn't have noticed any difference because he's kind of slowed down since I've known him. I've probably known him for about 10 years or so, and he just retired last year. So,
Wow.
but he's back driving again, and you know,
Wow.
uh,
Wow. Remarkable.
yeah. So he's really lucky out there.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
What are you looking at, Rolo? Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, we, yeah, he probably does. Oh, gosh. Um, so I sent out a couple of emails, have it on Facebook, and uh, quite a few of the people that I sent it to were really excited. So
Good.
hopefully we'll have some people, um, tuning in.
Well, we have one person who joined. Cassie's joined us. So
Good.
yeah, yeah. And I've got a few surprises I've uploaded for when the show officially starts. So
Oh, did you?
I'll let those rip. Yeah,
Cool.
when we reach the top of the hour. So
All right.
that's great. Yeah, I got one of your emails. So good job on that.
Oh, good. Good.
Hmm.
Good. Good. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So.
Goodness. What's the weather like up there?
It's kind of warm and overcast with some sun breaks. So it's keeping the temperature pretty cozy. I
Yeah.
was out today. It was shirt sleeve weather.
Yeah.
Little sprinkles here and there. It feels very spring-like. So kind of nice, pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like 80.
Yeah. I can see the sun through the windows on your face.
Oh,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I guess we'll just have kind of a free-form chat
All
dealio.
right, we'll
All right.
wing it.
So here we go. I'm gonna start
All
everything.
right. I can hear it.
Did you hear that?
No.
No, not at all. Oh,
I heard just the beginning of it, a little.
yeah. And then it dropped out, or what happened?
Yeah, then it just went away.
Well, that's no good. Well, we'll have to keep working on it, I guess. Yeah. So, okay. So we got contact info.
All right.
Yep.
So we're live right now.
We are live.
That's wonderful. So
Oh, I
good
know.
to be back.
Yeah.
And you know, Lawrence and I are holding the ship down, and you know, Mr. Michael Espinoza, maybe he'll join us at some point in time. But you know, for our listeners, it's Lawrence and Adrian at the Psychic Funhouse.
This is true.
So let me start with my contact information, and I know we'll probably be giving it a little bit later in the show, but so Adrian Stratton is my name, and I am a psychic medium. And how you reach me for private sessions or to book an event, please look at my website, which is indeed ravenmessages.com. You can find me on Facebook, also ravenmessages.com. And my phone number is area code 714-376-7289. How about you, Lawrence? How do people find you?
Mostly they find me very well. Contact-wise, you can get a hold of me at my website down there, givingtreefarm.com. You can also email me at givingtree@earthlink.net. And my phone number for calling or texting during Monday through Friday regular business hours is 541-344-7534.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, yeah, like we were saying, it's really good to be back. It's good to find a new home on Riverside FM, and I think I think our listeners are going to be very very happy, very relieved, because a lot of the issues that we were experiencing in the other platform, I don't think we're going to experience anything similar to that. At least I truly hope not, because we researched.
I agree. Yeah. So we have a viewer who wants to know if we're going to do readings tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we should.
Yeah, might as well inaugurate that. It'll be our first time doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we'll certainly be doing that, and having some interesting conversation, and you know, feeling our way through these first couple of shows. But yeah, absolutely, we'll be doing some readings. Absolutely. and both of us, both of us.
Yeah, I got some good feedback from a friend of mine who also has a Riverside account and who's been on our show before when we were on Blog Talk, named Sky. She's a shamanic practitioner like myself and has her own podcast that she does. So
Mm,
she was nice enough to give us some feedback. And
nice.
one of the things that we're going to be able to incorporate now that we're doing a visual, not just an auditory medium, is tangible things, right? So visual stuff.
Yes,
So we can
yes, I
do,
love that.
yeah, so we can get really creative with the readings and incorporate more visual things for our listeners and viewers and really
You know,
get in.
I so appreciate you mentioning that because
Mhm.
actually I was thinking about that earlier. I was thinking, oh yeah, I could bring my, tarot deck out or a pendulum, and it's like, and people can see that, and that's so cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah. Yeah. We also have to, be aware that we are visual. And so the usual stuff we could get away with back in the day,
Yeah,
we were just, you know,
yeah,
speech only.
yeah,
Can't do
so
it.
true.
So, yeah. So,
Hey, I was just wondering, um,
mhm,
I was wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing with our listeners what, in the short version, I guess, if there is a short version, of what
mhm,
kind of readings, what kind of healing work do you do? Because I know that some people are familiar with the shamanic work, and some people are not. But
mhm.
I know you, and I know that you are very, very psychic, very intuitive, and quite a healer. And I was just wondering if you would share a little bit more about what you do.
Sure. I'd love to do that. Yeah, that's great. I appreciate you teeing me up like that. That's very kind of you. Um, and then maybe we can reciprocate and have you
Of course.
delve into what it is you offer people. Um, I would say, that I have kind of four main modalities that I work in. So, I do psychic work, and then I'm also a tarot reader, and I'm a shamanic practitioner, and I'm also an herbalist, certified clinical herbalist. And so, oftentimes, all those things kind of dovetail in together. Um, so when people come to me, they have an option for what kind of level they want to work with on me. Some people just want to see me purely on a physical level because they're dealing with certain things. Um, Sometimes people will come to see me on a spiritual level, and we'll find out that really there's some physical stuff that needs to be attended to first before we can work on the spiritual stuff. Vice versa. It just really depends. Um, so, my herbal work, I make different herbal products from plants that I grow and gather in the wild and in my gardens, and then offer those to my clients when necessary. I do custom blending. I have over 100 different tinctures in stock that I've made um, that are available to people, as well as other kinds of herbal products like salves and teas and things like that. So, and then I teach classes. I'm teaching a class right now on introductory herbalism at the community college here um, in my town, and then I also do private classes and consultations, things like that. And I'm as a shamanic practitioner, I work with animal spirits. I work with human spirits. I also have a real affinity, as you might guess, with plants. So I tend to think of myself first and foremost as a plant shaman. So, plants often come to me uh, to help. me understand what's going on with a client. Um, so shamanism, for people that aren't that familiar with it, shamanism at its most basic form is really just a technology. It's a way to connect directly with spirit. And there's, kind of three main components to shamanism, and that are pretty universal throughout the indigenous cultures that um, shamanism, is still a part of. And so, uh, the first thing that shamanism has is a belief system or a cosmology, right? An understanding of how the universe works, how spirit works, where to go to find spirit, what spirit is, um, how to work with them, that kind of a thing. And then the other process is accessing spirit. How do you access spirit? Well, um, you do what's called a shamanic journey to access spirit. And there's different ways to contact spirit, to do shamanic journeys. Mostly it's done uh, using the third component, which is um, sound, right? And so usually that's a drum. Occasionally it can be another object that makes sound, like a rattle. Um, if you're in Australia with the Aboriginal people, it might be a bull roar, a special kind of device that they have that makes a really thrumming sound, or a didgeridoo, or another type of thing. And the idea behind that uh, is the sound actually can create a change in your brainwave patterns, such that it puts you into an altered state if you're exposed to the right kind of beat and intensity. And somewhere around 120 beats a minute or so, or 200 or so, uh, from a drum will actually change your brainwaves into a more receptive state, and put you into what's called the shamanic state of consciousness, or SSC.
Yeah.
That's when you're going to be receptive to being contacted by spirit, and that's what helps you do what's called a shamanic journey to go and commune with the spirits and find out whatever it is they want to share with you that you can bring back to your client. So
So cool.
yeah, a little hard to
So,
encapsulate in a tiny little.
yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness.
But yeah,
Well, thank you for sharing that, and I'm hopeful that helps a few of the people that are learning, just learning, and you know, trying to stay open, and yeah, so it's good,
so
and
now,
mhm,
yeah, so your turn to spill the beans. So what are your healing modalities that you offer your clients?
yeah.
And do you have one that
Well,
you like more than others, or are they all equally your favorite? Or
I I read energy. I read
hmm
energy, and
hmm
um, and and I use spirit guides, sometimes animal guides as well, and and these guides are on various frequency realms, and they help deliver messages, especially when I'm doing mediumship work, and they're relaying information to me. I love it all. I absolutely love it all. And every once in a great while, it's like in doing a mediumship reading, I am still just astounded, at either what I will see or what I am told. And it's like, you can't make this up. It's like, there's no way that I would know anything about, your grandmother who passed away 10 years in, a different country. I mean, there's just no way, right? So
hmm
it's like, the work is real.
Mm-hmm.
The and yeah, the work is real, and it's just lovely, and I consider it to be sacred and an honor. And I would say that in all of the work that I do, I'm in preparation for it. It's about getting cleared energetically, and then raising my vibration so that I may work with the guides as they present themselves. And yeah, so a lot of the intuitive work is done in the here and the now, in the moment. I try to tell clients that this is the reading for right now. And although I'm clairvoyant, so I can see, and though I may be able to see certain things, and I will relate that. But the fact of it is that this is the information that is presenting itself in the here and the now.
Mm-hmm.
Mediumship is slightly different because we're dealing with people that, some of them have passed a long time ago, and what's brought forth sometimes are memories from, childhood or this or that, and but it's all just really remarkable, and the work, it kind of dovetails also. It really
Mm-hmm.
does. I'll sit down to do like a card reading with someone, and someone's loved one, from the other side will show up. That happens often. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just had maybe a stupid question come up while you were talking, um,
No
but
stupid questions.
I'm gonna ask it anyway. Yeah, exactly. Um, so mediumship is used to contact spirits that have passed on, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Is it ever used? Is that technique ever used to contact somebody who might be alive right now to communicate with them in some way?
Well, um, when that happens, that's more, it's more psychic, more on the intuitive side,
Hmm.
as opposed to the mediumship.
So mediumship is always about, working with somebody who's passed on in
Yeah.
some way. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
interesting. There's
Yeah.
a there's a there's a technique in shamanism. So, what I was taught was that when we go to the spirit world's roughly divided into three different locations. There's a lower world and an upper world, and then there's a middle world. Lower world is where you find animal spirits, and where I will find different connections there.
Right.
Sometimes lost objects and things. The upper world is where you find human-like spirits, or where I can kind of do mediumship work in a shamanic way. But the middle world actually corresponds to this world, just the spirit version of it.
Yeah.
So
So
lost,
cool.
yeah. So lost objects. That's where I'll do a middle world journey to find those. Or if somebody's got a relationship with a tree in their yard, I'll do a journey to the tree and contact its spirit that way. So things in the middle world are still living. They're just the counterpart of
Right.
uh, what's here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's similar. It's similar. The type of, like I was saying, the type of intuitive work that's tied into my clairvoyance. Yeah, it can be somewhat similar to that. Absolutely.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Cool.
Hmm.
It's very cool.
Yeah. Well, so we have a reading request. Should we discuss that
Yeah.
process?
Let's do
Okay.
that.
Okay. So Katie's been chatting with us here in the sidebar, and mentioned that she wanted to get a reading. So, um, so
Does she
Katie,
have a particular question?
well, she wanted to know something about the future, but let's see if we can get her to maybe give us more specifics.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oops. Question. All right. So while we're waiting for that, um, oh, okay. She says she wants to see if there was a message from Wally. Sounds like something you might know about.
Yes, a message from Wally.
Okay. So,
Wally is Wally is a friend of hers that passed over, crossed over a couple of months. It's probably been a couple of months, maybe a little longer.
hmm. All right. Well, let the Raven get to work.
Just all that I am getting. Greetings again to you, Katie, sweet Katie. He wants you to know that you always brightened his day, and just he wants you to know that he truly valued his friendship with you, and you as a person. And he talks about that when he got sick, um, even though it seemed like he passed quickly, he had really been dealing with health issues off and on for a very long time, and he tried his best to hang on and be alive, because he really loved living. He was enthusiastic, enjoyed his life, his career. He said that he was, yes, enthusiastic is the word, and tried to hide his illness for a very long time. And, you know, he wants you to know that he definitely is feeling better now, and he 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 wants you to know that, again, that he's very thankful that you have the dog, and that his hope for you is that you take good care of yourself. So he says, if you take good care of yourself, everything else is going to fall into place. And he said, you know what that means. So, there you go.
Nice.
So,
So, Adrian, when you do a mediumship reading like this, are you, um, what's the process of transmission of information? Is it something you're just downloaded with all at once, or are you receiving bits and pieces? Do you get images? Is it
yeah,
what's that
uh,
like?
image, image, and download. Sometimes I get it in audio.
Mm-hmm.
This information is coming to me via images, and the audio is coming through the guides and being delivered to me.
Okay.
Which is sometimes why, when I am working in this way, um, my speech changes. I sometimes almost stutter, and it's because I'm trying very hard to understand what they're saying, sometimes what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So did that, was there anything there, anything further that Katie needed or wanted?
Well, she says thank you. She prefaced that with awe and a emoji with a bunch of hearts around it, a
Oh,
smiley
good,
face. So
good.
yeah. So I think that was helpful. So have you, so the guides that you work with, are they always the same? Have you had them for a long time, or do they rotate in and out, or
Um,
what are your guides like?
the core group has been together for quite some time, and every once in a while, someone new will come in.
Mm,
Um, And my Raven and Wolf that I use a lot, not always with the mediumship, but more with the intuition, the clairvoyance in particular. They've been with me. Well, they've all been with me forever, but the Raven and Wolf are they're solid team members. So.
hmm, interesting. And are you the one who always reaches out to them, or do they reach out to you, or how does that
Oh
work?
no, no. We're we're in often communication. so so sometimes yes, sometimes I have a like a morning kind of routine where I will sit and I like to meditate and um, express my gratitude and thankfulness for my life and for all of the blessings, and sometimes in that process they will definitely reach out and either with with very important information, sometimes about events to come, and sometimes just sending like lots of love or encouragement, in ways that I know that can be very helpful. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um,
Did you get anything for Katie on that particular um, chat?
from Wally.
Yeah.
I didn't, I kind of kept things open, but nothing really jumped out. So I didn't, pursue it
Yeah.
any further. But yeah.
That happens, of course. Of
Hmm.
course.
Yeah. Sounds like an interesting person.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Have you been getting any information about any upcoming events or trends or things that are building or happening that are coming up? I know there's a lot of anxiety and, fear and unfortunately a lot of other, as we sometimes call them, low vibration energies floating around,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there's also, good things happening too. I think people are coming
Mm-hmm.
together and finding solidarity and making plans and things like that. So that's good.
I just think it's really fair to say that 2025 is a year that um, it's a year that we will remember probably the rest of our lives for
Mhm.
a variety of different reasons. I don't know, how deep to go into politics at this particular time, and I don't really have to say much about politics, but what I can say is that, if you're paying attention to the news, the media, mainstream media, you know, you're getting all kinds of versions of what the truth is, and sometimes sometimes you can turn off the TV and you can still feel the energy,
Hmm.
because things are things are really up and down, and I felt like some of the information I got earlier in the beginning of the year was that things were going to be particularly tough. What I mean by that is up and down energetically for the first 3 to 4 months of the year, then kind of smooth out, and then I I feel like towards August, September, things are going to start building again, and it's going to be kind of a roller coaster ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Um,
Mm.
this is in Chinese zodiac, this is the year of the snake, right?
Yes, I'm a snake.
Are you a snake?
I'm a
Oh, okay.
snake.
Snaky snake. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a power year for you. It's a wood snake. Do you know what kind of snake you are?
No.
Yeah. Well, we could look at the charts and figure that out. But
Yeah.
the snake has kind of a duality to it. It has a real positive, productive side, and a side that's also uh, very chaotic and terrorizing, right? It's this really dynamic change. So that lines up with what you were talking about and with what we're observing so far, just in the few months of the year that have already happened. So
I
yeah.
was thinking, kind of along that line, that perhaps a future guest, maybe have an astrologer, you know, come and be a guest on the show as a guest, and kind of give us, their insight as to what the planets and the stars are looking like.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a really great astrologer who's been on the show before, named Liam, and getting him to commit is a little bit tricky because he's a busy guy and he's got a lot of other things going on. But he's amazing. He's really good.
Ah,
You like him.
yeah, that'd be
Hmm.
great.
Yeah, he's on East Coast time, so we have to kind of work with those
Sure.
boundaries. But yeah,
Sure.
yeah, I think people really respond to that modality as well. Pretty much everybody has been exposed to astrology at some point in their lives and knows their sign and different things like that. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. He's done some work for both Michael and myself, and really really powerful, transformative guy.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
very knowledgeable. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. That'd be great. That'd be great
Mhm.
if we could get them.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. With this new medium, we're going to have all sorts of possibilities open up. I think for guests and different topics and
Yeah.
things. So more creative juices will be flowing.
Yes, sounds
So,
good.
yeah. Yeah.
Sounds very good. Love
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so one of the things that I wanted to ask you about,
Mhm.
as we're getting used to the show and the format, Riverside, do we still have all of the whistles and bells, all of the various sounds that we used to be able to play?
Oh, yeah, the sound effects.
Yeah, the
No,
sound.
we don't. I've
Uh,
been gradually uploading some of them,
ah,
you know, here and there.
yeah.
But and actually Riverside has its own small library of sounds.
Oh, I
Uh,
see.
yeah, that are already, on there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but
Cool.
no, as things get more calibrated, I'm hoping to increase the um, different bells and whistles and things
Mm-hmm.
for the show to keep people interested and just to accent different things. So,
Oh, good.
hmm
Good. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So,
Well, quite fortunately, kind of segueing into a different topic.
hmm
Oh my goodness. Hey, uh-uh.
Uh-oh.
I was just, I was just gonna just mention that last night I had the pleasure of providing a reading
Yeah.
and had the puppy with me in my office, and I had her on the leash because I wanted her to like kind of be quiet, lay down,
hmm
and okay, and all of a sudden I hear this noise. And it's kind of this familiar noise, and
hmm
it's like, fortunately, I was like at the end, I had finished actually the majority of the reading. And come to find out, the puppy had chewed, I think it's I think the fourth leash now,
Oh
you
my
know.
gosh.
Yeah, she is just something, it's my fault because I dropped it. I let go of it. I didn't, should have taken it off of her, but I
Oh.
didn't. And so I just happened to turn my head just now,
hmm
and she's over there on the couch chewing on a blanket. So, anyway,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, sounds like you need to increase your library of chew toys for her.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puppies are very oriented towards
Yeah.
finding things to put in their mouths. That's for sure. Shoes and whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's funny.
So yeah, it's all good, but you guys really keep me on my toes.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good. So I'm really hopeful that we get to expand our listenership. And we used to have a lot of regular callers, from the East Coast. And
hmm
in particular, we would get a lot of people from New York,
hmm
as I recall, and few from Florida and the Midwest once in a while, sometimes from LA, various spots in California.
hmm
But so I'm quite hopeful that we're gonna be able to, develop everything again. And so, my dear friends, if you're listening, please spread the word and help us out so we can continue and bring you all kinds of interesting information and speakers and do readings for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to reconnect with hopefully some of our old listeners and convert them into our watchers and also bring some new people on. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this year is really, it's going to be about building our, our core group of followers again, so they have a chance to interact with us. And,
Hmm.
I think probably within the next few weeks to a month or so, we're also going to onboard, hopefully, the ability to call in like we had with our previous platform on Blog Talk.
Yes.
So you'll have the option of contacting us in the chat window, or also giving us a call and coming on the show live, which is
Hmm.
nice to do. So we're
Hmm.
excited for that
Yeah.
to happen too. And
Yeah.
yeah, and we'll have archived shows people can go back and check out. And we'll have our community back. So
That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
So I know we were talking about uh, readings and what have you.
Hmm.
Was there ever a particular reading or one that you remember that really stood out, or a piece of work or healing that you were able to provide for another person that really stuck with you, that you could share about? I mean, I know that, one of the things I so appreciate about you, is your professionalism and your, feelings towards ethics and, confidentiality and what have you. But in
Hmm.
a roundabout way, I was just curious if there was ever uh, any particular uh, reading that you did or piece of healing work that stuck with you.
Uh, yeah, I can share something and still keep it anonymous. I had a uh, young woman come in to the shop that I was a part of uh, several years ago, and who wanted a reading, and it was in the evening. And she sat down, and right away it was obvious she was very, very upset. She was in a state of turmoil, and she was trying to keep a really, um, you know, impassive face on what was going on with her. But there was just a lot of um, just emotional upset just coming off of her in waves, basically. And so, we started doing the reading, and right away, what came through was that she had actually tried to kill herself, and nobody no, she hadn't told anybody about it. And so, this is what the guides were telling me, and this is, it's not something you can just bring up casually, like, oh, by the way, you know, uh, the spirits are telling me that you really like root beer floats or something like that.
Yeah.
So, so I sat with it for a while, but and I, as often happens, the guides will say, you need to tell them just what I told you, and I'll be like, well, but maybe I need to kind of round the edges off and just kind of put a little bow on it or sweeten it up a little bit. And they're like, no, 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 say what I said. They need to hear this. They need, have direct, in a way, a confrontation. And you can still be kind and compassionate, but they need to really, um, you know, have a discussion about this with you, because you're it. They're not going to talk about it with anybody else. So I'm looking at this young person, and I'm like, well, okay, here we go. And I said, well, the guides are telling me that you have tried to end your life. Is that true? And she just looks at me, and she's like, you know, she's kind of in shock, and just kind of breaks down and starts talking about her home life. And she's got a very difficult relationship with her parent, and how they've really caused her a tremendous amount of stress, and they don't understand her, and just how much grief she feels over, never being able to please this person, and feeling like she's kind of, at a wit's end. What was fortunate, I think, with the session was that the um, by the end of our time together, she had purged herself of some of the burden, I think, that she felt so alone with, that she was carrying. And, while I was listening to her, I was just pouring on as much affirmation and love and support and kindness that I could, and feedback. And the emotional turmoil that she came in with was to a large extent dissipated, and she felt a lot calmer and a lot more grounded. And I think, she felt uh, really gratified that I showed, some concern towards her that was genuine, that helped her reconnect with, her sense of self, and feel like she didn't have to give herself up to this person in her life, even though, they were a relative, that she could start to create, better boundaries, and figure out what she needed to do to start healing herself, and then kind of move forward, you know. Um,
Wow.
so it was a lot to cover,
Yeah.
and you know, and I also made sure that she had resources. I gave her, like, I made her write down the number for the suicide hotline and some other local sources and things like that. And I also said, um, you either need to get into therapy, which wasn't something I think she'd done, or you need to have somebody who you trust, you can confide in, because I can't be the only person. You can't just pay to get feedback that's helpful. You need to have somebody that will just be there for you when and if you ever get close to feeling this way again, so you don't you know do anything that would hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And so we kind of made up an action plan, I guess, before she left. And I contacted her, I think, a couple weeks later to do follow up, which I would sometimes do with my clients, and she seemed to be doing okay. So hopefully, fingers crossed, she's doing all right. So, yeah.
That's powerful. It's just so powerful. I uh, I love that. I love that you were able to connect with her, like that, and for that period of time, she certainly, felt like somebody heard her,
Mm-hmm.
somebody saw her, and someone cared. And
Yeah.
it doesn't, it's just powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Well, I'm constantly amazed at the trust and openness, um, that people are willing to put in us as readers for them, or healers. It takes a lot to um, move out of whatever state of denial you might be in about an issue or problem that's bothering you, and then to motivate to actually contact somebody, um, because it's it's difficult enough, I think, to realize within yourself that there's something out of balance that you need some help with, let alone to seek out somebody else, and then to seek a spiritual worker, because there's just a lot of challenges with dealing with us, as comfortable as we try to make people's experience, and as safe and helpful. you know um it doesn't always turn out that way, even to the best of our abilities. It's a lot, and so to make that connection happen and have it be constructive, with basically two strangers coming together for the first time to go over something that can be really very
Yeah.
private, and intimate. uh it's a lot to have happen. So I'm always really respectful of process, and really um pleased when things go well for people, um,
I
because
love that.
that's why we're here. We're here to serve and be of service, and just to you know, I constantly tell people I'm just a problem solver. You know, that's what I'm here for. So let's
I
figure
love it.
let's figure out what the problem is, get clear on that,
Yeah,
and then 'cause sometimes people come in and they've just got so much going on, or blah, 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 you know, it's like,
right.
okay, you know, let's purge, let it out. Okay, all right, now we're back down.
Yeah,
Why are you here?
yeah,
Do you know why you're here?
yeah.
Okay. You know, I know we've both, you know, Michael too, we've all done readings where a person comes in with a certain idea or question, you know, about what the reading's going to be about, and the guides are like, actually, it's really
Yeah.
about this, you know,
It's
and then
so
you've got to,
true.
and
It
then
is
you've got to,
so true.
yeah, and then you've got to communicate that to them in a way that they're going to be receptive, because it's like,
Yeah,
no, 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 we're not, guides aren't going to do that. We're going to do this. This is what they need. They may
yeah,
want this, but they're going to get this.
yeah.
So, and I'm like, but they want this. I'm like, nope, they get this. So maybe they'll get the other thing, but first they get this. So, and you know, sometimes that's a deal breaker for people. You know, they'll be like,
It's
nope,
true.
I'm paying money and you're telling me something you know, I didn't even ask for. So
Hmm.
I'm out of here. You know,
Hmm.
um,
Yes, I've experienced that. I've
we all
experienced
have,
that. Oh yeah.
you know, but to varying degrees of emotion behind it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
But you know, it's not a boring um, profession by any means.
Oh,
So
always
mhm,
different, and
mhm,
um, and the clients, the people that come, are the people that are supposed to, and
mhm,
I feel very blessed that I have just met some just wonderful, wonderful people, that have come to me as clients.
mhm.
Excuse me.
It's okay.
And and they put up with me because sometimes, like, I can get really kind of spaced out, like I've said before. It's like I sometimes even like stutter, or they, and they're wonderful because sometimes the guides that I work with uh, do not use a particular filter when it comes to delivering a message. And so sometimes it's hilarious,
Mhm. Yeah.
and so anyhow, but it's always fun. It's always so wonderful, so rewarding.
Yeah, we end up being the filter and translator and, you know,
Yes,
everything. So, but you
absolutely.
know, that's what we signed up for, is to be that
That's right.
bridge. So,
Yeah,
uh, in between, you know,
yeah.
it's challenging. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Well, so do you have any events coming up anytime soon?
Um, let's see. Well, yes, as a matter of fact.
As a matter of
Um,
fact.
let me see. It's the last Saturday of the month. I'm not sure. Let me look at the date here really fast.
Okay.
Oh, second, second to last Saturday of the month. It'll be the 26th, out in Laguna Woods, um, California, between the hours of 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. I will be out at the Holistic Fair, and this is the Heart Space Holistic Fair held at the Laguna Woods Wellness Center.
Hmm.
And it's a fun day. There's a lot of different people there that provide lots of different services, and and the price range varies as well. I'm there. I do card readings and some mediumship, and but like I said, there's all kinds of people there doing all kinds of readings and healings, and various price points. And then there's some free things that happen too. Some lectures, talks on various topics. And So it's usually fun, and they do have some vendors that come, and my dear friend Katie, that's where I met Katie, and Katie makes just, I'm gonna give her a little plug here, but just some fantastic jewelry. And
Uh-huh.
that's where I met Katie, and so yeah. So anyhow, I'm really happy. If anybody wants more information, you can call me, or certainly check it out on my website, because I have it
And,
there.
and so so it's the Laguna Woods Heart Space Healing Center, and what's the date and time again?
Yeah, so it's 11 a.m. to 5
Mm-hmm.
p.m. The
Mm-hmm.
last Saturday of the month. So I think that's the 26th. I think that's what I said.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so I've got that coming up. And then I have another event coming up on the 18th of May. But I'll give you more information on that. It's
Okay.
another holistic fair. It's just a smaller one. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm. Great. I think Michael usually shows up to that too, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Very good. Very good.
I love this banner that
Yeah, they're handy.
that you can do. Yeah, that's just great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. How about you? You have any events coming up? I know you're teaching.
I am teaching. Yeah, I don't so that's weekly. I don't have any events that I've signed up for yet. Things are starting to form up. We'll see. You know, I have a cart that I inherited um that I might stock with some of my herbal stuff and show up to different events yet, but I haven't determined which ones that those will be. So so nothing to report on that end.
Okay.
But yeah. So
All right.
all right. Well, believe it or not, we've come to the end of another show.
Wow.
I
That went
know.
fast.
I know.
Yeah.
So, Adrian, can you give people your contact information so they can get with you later?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So, my website has a lot of information about my services and my fees, and a little bit about me as well and how I approach the work.
Oop, sorry.
There we go.
Yeah.
And yes, and so it is ravenmessages.com. And you can also find me on Facebook. And that business page is also ravenmessages.com. And yeah, so there's a lot of information about upcoming events and services and things of that sort. You can also call me at area code 714-376-7289.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you, Lawrence? How do people reach you?
Well, you can check out my website, which is givingtreefarm.com. I've got information about my shamanic practice there, my clinical herbalism practice, different classes. There's even a page to download and fill out my consultation form if you're looking for some healing work, either shamanically or herbally, or maybe both. And then you can always email me, which is givingtree, all one word, givingtree at earthlink.net. And my phone number is 541-344-7534. And you're welcome to send me a text or give me a call.
So
Uh,
cool. Love it.
just make it reasonable hour wise. Yeah. So, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, I say thank you for a wonderful show, Lawrence, and doing all that you do. And I know I look forward to next week, and we'll keep working on expanding the number of people that are watching us and participating and getting the word out.
Absolutely, yeah. And big thanks to Cassie and Katie for coming on the show
Yep,
and contributing, asking great questions.
yep,
Katie got to be our first ever reading on our new platform, so
yeah.
very auspicious. Yes, so thanks for that. Yeah. Well, I hope everybody has a lovely rest of their day today and an equally lovely weekend. And we are excited to be back on the air again with you and look forward to many more shows in the future. Remember, we're always here Fridays from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And soon you'll be able to access our archive shows as well. So
Yeah.
invite a friend, come back and see us again. We'd love to have you. So
Yes, indeed.
thanks very much.
All right.
All right. Well, until next time,
Okay.
take care.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
y'all.
everyone. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
Bye.
Nighty night.
Bye.